Just getting the last bit of nerves out, and this guy right here is a breath of fresh air.
Luke Sandoe was one of the biggest in the game. With his massive physique and raw charisma, he dominated stages. But after coming third at the 2019 Arnold Classic, things began to spiral. Fights, mental health breakdown, and depression. This is the tragic but inspiring story of Luke the Juggernaut Sandoe. This is Luke Sandoe version. A man with his incredible work ethic and personality had gone ahead to become one of the most promising stars in the professional bodybuilding industry. Another thing that made him fall into this category was his perfect structure and complete physique. At first, he was just a regular boy from Bournemouth, England. It wasn't until he discovered the gym that his insane transformation began. Luke would go on to earn his pro card in 2013 and eventually stand shoulder to shoulder with bodybuilding legends on the Arnold Classic stage. Aside from his physical transformation, what's more impressive about Luke was his authentic personality, which resonated with millions of his fans all over the world. In my opinion, Luke was one of the best bodybuilders and ambassadors in modern times. He was already an influencer even before other influencers took over the industry. Luke just did not care about fame. He wanted to be himself, and a lot of his fans regarded him as one of the most genuine voices in the industry. A mixture of his British humor, honesty, and strict approach to training attracted him a dedicated fan base along with a lot of respect from his competitors. Luke seemed to have finally broken through in 2019 when he came third place at the Arnold Classic. It was one of the most prestigious bodybuilding shows. He was in the position and had the potential to qualify for the Mr. Olympia, and he had the support of major sponsors like Redcon One. But behind those massive and toned muscles, strength, and charismatic personality, there was pain. A lot of pain and struggles. Because behind the spotlight, Luke was fighting battles most fans never saw. He had achieved his dream body and his fame and recognition was skyrocketing. But how do you think he dealt with the pressure that came along with his new status and achievements? As he advanced in his career, so did his mental health challenges. But what happened to Luke Sandoe and why is he viewed with such respect by bodybuilding fans? Luke was born on the 3rd of August 1989 in Bournemouth, England. Unlike many renowned bodybuilders who found their passion early, Luke was actually a late bloomer in the industry. As Luke grew up, he had a totally different passion. He had a deep love for music. He was a talented drummer who played in several bands during his teenagehood. In fact, he had mentioned that if he hadn't found bodybuilding, he would have pursued a career in professional music. It wasn't until his late teens that Luke was at a gym for the first time. According to interviews, his initial introduction to weight training was simply to improve his drumming endurance.
I'm back.
Did you almost die?
Yeah, 100%.
You don't know if you'd work with him again.
He kept saying things like, are you getting headaches, are you getting cramps? And I wasn't getting headaches and I wasn't getting cramps. So I was angry and I was looking for somebody to blame, really. Because I put a whole year into turning pro. I was like obsessed.
What's remarkable is how quickly Luke transformed once he committed to bodybuilding. Within just a few years of serious training, he had built an impressive physique that caught attention at local shows. Having been close with and influenced by UK bodybuilding veteran Flex Lewis, Luke's talents were obvious from the start. However, as he stepped onto the stage as a pro, Luke Sandoe would come to realize that size was not all that mattered, especially not when you are standing next to legends. Luke's transition from a local to professional bodybuilder was one that came with a lot of challenges. He went for a lot of competitions, faced victories and defeats before he earned his pro card at the 2013 British Championships Super Heavyweight division.
When did you first compete, and then when did you first, I suppose, when did you turn pro?
So from that point, that's when I was like, I'm doing a show next year.
Although he did not immediately dominate when he got the pro rank, he faced the harsh realities that many new pros encountered. At this level, the rate of competition was very high. In the first few shows he competed in, he was placed outside of the top ranks. Instead of getting discouraged, it fueled his drive.
Congratulations, Luke.
Luke Sandoe broke through in his career when he competed at the 2019 Arnold Classic, where he placed third, standing alongside bodybuilding legends like William Bonac and Dexter Jackson. His performance shocked a lot of people in the industry, his fans inclusive. He did have the potential, but no one thought it would happen so fast, more so because he was a British bodybuilder. This performance shocked many in the industry who had not expected the British bodybuilder to place so highly. Luke was open about the realities of the industry. In an era where many bodybuilders were conscious about their perfectly curated social images, Luke took to transparency. Luke regularly talked about the less glamorous side of bodybuilding. On one of those occasions was when he went live with the Straight Outta the Lair podcast that he co-hosted with Fouad Abiad.
About the bigger names. And I was thinking about that exact thing the other day. And I was thinking, is it like agenda-driven politics to people? Is that what people were referring to? Like they're bigger names, so put them up higher? Or is it just like a human thing where because they know who they are, they just automatically look at them first?
Luke had a sense of humor that drew fans to him, that was alongside his authenticity and willingness to be vulnerable. He had a genuine connection with his fans. Unlike a lot of legends in the industry who got a lot of backlash, trolls, hate, and thrived in controversy, Luke did not have to worry about these things. He was well liked and respected. Even his competitors spoke highly of him. Aside from his workout videos, Luke shared his philosophy, life, and struggles, a lot of which resonated with his audience. Luke's impact lives beyond competition stages. As a coach, he helped a lot of bodybuilders build their desired physique, pitch their tents, and find their feet in the competitive industry. Because of how dedicated he was, his online training program gained popularity. Luke did not fail to talk about the importance of mental health wellness. Maybe that was him giving hints. As much as he was thriving in his career, what many fans failed to see was that Luke was drowning in his own struggles. He also mentioned how these challenges affected his competition preparation and training. Despite his rising profile in the bodybuilding industry, Luke continued to face his personal challenges. The pressure of competing at the highest level took its toll both physically and mentally. The lifestyle of a professional bodybuilder, strict dieting, intense training, and the use of performance-enhancing drugs continually triggered his mental health issues. Luke spoke candidly about the financial realities of professional bodybuilding. Even as a top competitor, he struggled with the economics of the sport. The travel demands of the bodybuilding industry also meant long periods away from his children, something that weighed heavily on him. As a dedicated father, the separation was particularly difficult for Luke. In early 2020, Luke announced that he would be taking a break from competition to focus on his health and family. This decision came as a surprise to many fans who had expected him to build on his 2019 momentum. In retrospect, this may have been a sign of his worsening mental state. Friends and close associates later revealed that Luke had been struggling with severe depression for years. Despite seeking help and being on medication, his condition continued to deteriorate in the months following his competitive break. On May 7, 2020, Luke Sandoe passed away at the age of 30. The news shocked the bodybuilding community, with tributes pouring in from competitors, fans, and industry figures. Initial reports speculated about the cause of his death pointed at self-harm. His friend Ben Chow was supposedly on the know of what Luke was going through because they were in constant communication. Ben and Luke trained together a lot through tough workouts that helped Luke grow as a professional bodybuilder. Sometimes they filmed their sessions and shared them, giving fans a glimpse into their training style and friendship. Aside from training, Ben also acted as Luke's coach during some of his competition preparations. Their teamwork was clear in their joint projects, including seminars where they shared their training methods. Ben and Luke started the Bodybuilding and Bollocks podcast with Fuad Abiad. The podcast talked about different parts of bodybuilding, training techniques, and industry news, showing their great chemistry and love for the sport. You can find episodes featuring both of them on platforms like YouTube and Spotify. After his death, he took to his Instagram to address the speculation surrounding Luke's death. The next things he said were heart-wrenching.
Another bodybuilder, it wasn't a health issue that caused this to happen. It wasn't a steroid or a drug issue leading to him making a bad decision. This is something that Luke Sandoe, the human being, was contending with and has contended with, like I say, from long before he ever stepped foot in the gym.
While many reports initially pointed to self-harm, his family later clarified on Luke's 32nd posthumous birthday that his passing was due to a heart failure, not self-inflicted harm. The original post about Luke Sandoe's death suggested that the bodybuilder had taken his life. Many within the community who were thought to be close to Sandoe mentioned mental health and depression while offering their condolences. This led to the assumption that he had harmed himself. However, now that the facts have been shared by Sandoe's family, the situation has been clarified. He may have had the potential of winning Mr. Olympia, but sadly we'd never know. Luke Sandoe's story did not end with his sad passing in 2020, his legacy has lived on. Since then, the bodybuilding community has kept his memory alive. Friends, fellow athletes, and fans often share their thoughts about him on his birthday and during competition anniversaries. His impact is still felt through the athletes he had coached. Many of them still call him their biggest mentor. His podcasts with Fuad Abiad are still loved till today. They give an inside view of a bodybuilder who was not afraid to talk about tough topics like mental health, self-doubt, and growing as a person. Even now, new fans find Luke through his old videos, interviews, and competition clips. His story inspires many athletes, reminding them that being open about feelings is not a weakness. True strength comes from being real and caring. Today, Luke's name is mentioned with some of the most respected people in bodybuilding, not just because of his impressive body, but also because of the man that he was. His journey keeps sparking important talks about health, the challenges of being an elite athlete, and the importance of discussing mental health, especially for men.